back here once again, another installment of SwayReporting Live one-on-one sit-downs. And like I say at the beginning of every episode I have, every one of my guests are special. And today we have two great guests, ladies and gentlemen. I will not do the introducing because these men have put on the groundwork and they deserve to introduce themselves. And here they are. Take the floor, gentlemen. Whoever's first.
Randy Cruz, co-CEO, Hoops in the Sun Basketball at Orchard Beach.
Joe Cruz Jr., Hoops in the Sun, co-CEO, 22 years, Orchard Beach.
22 years.
Facts.
Foundation.
Long time.
Blood, sweat, and tears.
Pain.
A lot of pain. I like that. I like that word.
Yeah.
A lot of pain. Expensive pain. So, gentlemen, of course, I'm here, Orchard Beach. The court looks amazing.
Appreciate that.
Thank you.
I'm not even gonna like for real. Like, it's very, very iconic, if I can use that word. Let's start off with the story. Some of the story that has been brought around that you have told regarding your father building or starting this foundation. Of course, for those that don't know, you got your father, Joe Cruz.
Yep.
Yes, Joe Cruz, known to some as Pops. He got this from going to California, Venice Beach in the early 2000s and said, you know what, New York doesn't have this. Let's try to make our own. Let's try to build it from the ground up. It's funny because me and the guys were talking about it in the car, building things from the ground up, where our platform has gone. So let's just start there, where the groundwork has been made. Your father, his remembrance. He is no longer here with us, but you guys have put on the dream. First and foremost, what was it like when Pops came to the house, if I can call him that with you guys?
Mm-hmm.
He comes to the house and goes, guys, I'm trying to make this. Like, I'm trying to do this. What was that initial conversation like when he came back from that vacation or business trip and said, I'm trying to do this, guys?
You want to go first or me?
Yeah, I mean, I'll start off. So listen, I appreciate you having me on. This is love, man. I appreciate this,
you being
man.
here,
And
for
anybody
sure.
watching, I appreciate this. And the support for Hoops in the Sun. So, you know, on to my pops. So my dad, he actually gave us a call from LA. He was on a business trip, and he decided to give us a call on those old, those rotary phones, and called us and said, "Hey man, I'm over here. Everything's all good. Just want to let you know I passed by this bro walk and had this basketball court. It looked amazing, looked dope." I said, "Oh yeah, I think I know about that. It's like, you know, the white man can't jump court." And he said, "Yeah, that's exactly right." He was like, "Well, listen, when I get back in town, I'm definitely we're gonna have a conversation because I want to do this Orchard Beach." You know, so I knew Dad's place was always Orchard. You know, as a strong entrepreneur and Latino man, this was his safe haven. And lo and behold, he, you know, sold me and my brother a dream, and you know, a dream became a reality. And you know, he said that he wanted to make this the East Coast Venice Beach, and that's what he did. And we just, you know, we're blessed to be in a situation to be able to be trailblazers in that. And I'll use that word strongly, trailblazers in that.
I like that word a lot.
I think, you know, for me, my brother and I always grew up as basketball fans.
Okay.
You know, we grew up in mid-'80s, early '90s, Michael Jordan era, Chicago Bulls. And, you know, basketball has always been my favorite sport. My dad has, you know, he went to school with Earl Gold Manigault. And just once he found out that Earl was doing a tournament on the Upper West Side during the mid-'90s, my dad was like a sponge. Like whatever Earl was doing, he wanted to just, you know, take in and just, you know, hold it in for one day. He might start his own tournament. And back in that time frame, my dad was working at Nike Pro City with Ray Diaz.
Okay.
So this like 97, 98, 99. As Joe mentioned, my dad takes a trip to LA in late July of '99. He was a regional sales manager for a sofa bed company called Jennifer Convertibles.
Yes,
so
I saw
it was
that as
just
well,
a regular day off. I'm checking out Venice Beach and the park, the playground, just the ambiance. And he got back on that flight to New York and said, I got a crazy idea, but I think we can do it. And me and Joe was just like, what's the idea? He said, I want to do my own tournament, you know, seeing what Earl's doing, seeing Nike Pro City, I think we can do our own thing. First question was, where you want to do it?
Exact. Always
He
the
said,
first question.
he said Orchard Beach, because Orchard has been in my lifetime for, you know, since I was a kid, and Joe too, coming here when we were young, just suntanning, hanging out with my dad and my mom. And He said, I think we could do it at Orchard. I hear they're doing renovations. At the time, steel backboards, double rims. You know, it was brand new at that time. So, you know, he had a couple meetings with the Parks Department in like January, February. And they said, you know, I think you have a great idea. I think what you guys want to do is, you know, can be amazing here. I think we need that, like a shot in the arm. And then you come around like, what do you want to call it? What logo do you want? And he picked out Hoops in the Sun. And I was like, well, it makes sense. You're on the beach, the basketball, put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, you fast forward, going on 23 years later, it just, you know, to us,
23 years, gentlemen.
you know, a landmark.
I'm not even gonna like. So you know, if you didn't know, I'm from Brooklyn, right?
Okay.
We're in Bronx, New York. I don't come here a lot. As you can see, this is my first time here, but I'm glad I'm here.
Ever?
Here, yes. Ever.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't believe I've been to the Orchard Beach just to.
Well,
just
shame
to,
on you, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Shame
You know,
on
I
you.
haven't been outside too much, but you
It's
fine
all
brothers
good.
have got me outside.
Shame
I'm not
on
even
you.
gonna lie. But when we talk about location, right? When I do my research, when I look into what I'm getting myself into, I see the terms street balls, Mount Everest. I see the terms hallowed ground, right? Some parks cannot claim those powerful words. I like to look at hallowed ground. You get what I'm saying? Just because, you know, we in Brooklyn we have the nightclub of street ball. We have Dykeman, the red carpet in the Bronx as well.
Right.
We have Zone 6. They like to say the trenches or wherever you want to reference that atmosphere too, right? So where does the name hallowed ground come from? We'll get to the next one, but hallowed ground, like where do you think that started?
I think hallowed ground starts from the you know, from the forefathers before us that were able to really grace the, you know, these blacktops and put their blood, sweat, and tears into a certain court that they wanted to rep, right? And you know, at the time of, you know, the Kingdom era and EBC era, you know, those are pillars in street basketball, right? Dykeman's and all the
West Fourth too,
West Fourth,
Yeah.
and you know, those are landmarks, man. You know, Tri-State, Gersh. You know, I don't want to miss anybody, Watson. So you know, those are landmarks, and I think about what those parks represent for their neighborhood and their atmosphere and their brand, right? It's you know, that's the blacktop for them, right? They put the blood, sweat, and tears into those courts. So, you know, you got pros and legends that came out of these courts, and you know, you want to preserve that, you know. So I mean, hallowed ground is protecting the war zone that these players put themselves through every single summer to put on a show for us and for the fans and for their hood and for their neighborhood. So, you know, I take that word heavy for me. You know, I'm very big on that, and I feel Orchard Beach in the early 2000s. You know, I wouldn't say was hallowed ground initially, but now we are hallowed ground. You play over here, and you survive in these what you call, like, you know, you said Zone 6 trenches.
Yeah.
You know, over here, you know, you survive the beach, man. You know, you got a major stamp. You know, me and my boy Kendrick, you know, my best friend Kendrick, shout out to him. We have a conversation about, like, you know, what do you compare, you know, these leagues to, or what is the names and what is this? I look at like the tournaments that in New York City are like you know, the U.S. Open and like the Wimbledon. You got to get those green jackets, right, to be certified as stamped, and those become hallowed ground. So Hoops in the Sun has been around, like Randy said, 23 years, and you know, that's the GOAT year for us. We're gonna go hard in year 23, and you know, we're looking forward to continuing to, you know, prove the doubters wrong, you know, and continue to, you know, set our trend and our path, and that's what hallowed ground is for me. And that's what my mission is, you know, moving forward, is making sure I put the best foot forward to take care of the fans that's been there for me when it was before hallowed ground.
Okay, you could leave it at that.
Yeah.
So let
sure.
me tailor it forward, right? So we have different types of names that have come to your parks, because when we look at the street basketball scene, at the same time you build your own groundwork, but people have to respect the groundwork you bring.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So I've looked at the different types of names that have come here to Ron Artest, the Lance Stevensons, just the names, the popular names, but the other names that are real street ball legends, right? So what is it to be? What is it? I want to know first. We'll start with you, Randy. Just your opinion of what a street ball legend is supposed to look like, right? You've put in your groundwork of 23 years, and there's gonna be a theme here, because that can't be just overlooked.
Yeah.
Some guys don't survive that long. You get what I'm saying? Especially
Exactly.
in New York City, where everybody's in competition. What would you describe your street? What does it take to be a legend in Hoops in the Sun? What does it take to be that guy that, okay, no matter where I go, they're gonna respect the fact that I brought to their park, and I respect the fact that I'm coming to this park too, because there's a lot of things going into that. being in a safe haven, people where they know the game and it's not just trash talking everywhere. So what do you think that mantra is?
I think for anybody to be a street ball legend, it's like the criteria would just be like you gotta outperform your opponents. You gotta win. You gotta play in multiple tournaments at the same time, because NYC is so weird because you have like 9 tournaments, right? You go to LA, it's probably 2. Miami got 1, and New York is 9, and it's like all going on through a 3-month cycle.
Same 3-month cycle, yes.
3 in one day kind of vibe. Whether you're a kid, a man, or a woman, but to be a legend here, just gotta show out, put out for the crowd, put on for your city, win championships, be the best performer you can be, and just be present. You can't just play one game here and feel like you're a legend. You gotta just
put in pain,
put in the time, the effort, the pain, and not everybody wins every year, but if you come back stronger than the year before, I know you eventually get one. So I think everybody's a legend, whether you win or not. But this is different because there's different elements, as you can see. You got the heat, there's travel.
Fighting it, ladies and gentlemen. The sun is like right here.
You already had the natural competition that's on the court already, but it's the beach venue, it's the heat, it's the travel, it's 12-minute quarters. It's a real pro game, and if you can withstand that and win and come back year after year after year, you're already stamped. We got a guy like Mike Glover who's won 7 championships here, and it's like you ask, how did he get 7 championships? Well, he worked hard. He busted his ass to get those titles. Different coaches, different teams, and the list goes on and on. But we're very proud to call those guys legends here at the beach.
Okay, so transitioning, Joey, I'm gonna give this question to you, and Randy, you could take it off, take some of it as well. But the art of the type of league you are, when the players come here, the coaches come here, the treatment they get, the business aspect of it, making sure everything is clean cut and there's no bad blood in between, whether somebody is scheduling or if it's something like money being paid or stuff like that, all the stuff behind the scenes, right? What is it like when you guys have to put on a culture, make your own culture, right? Because you took it from the hands of your father, and then you had to make upon that, but then also evolve it. You get what I'm saying? Because now there's 2 different minds. Yeah. Like you guys told me, 2 commissioners, 2 co-owners, 2 everything, because you guys are so locked in together.
Yeah.
What's it like building a culture, and what do you think? Because I've asked around, not just before this interview, but just because I see you guys on the internet, on social media, powerful thing. I asked guys about Hoops in the Sun, like, oh, what you guys think about that? Certain players, certain coaches, they're just like, yo, it's great over there. You got to travel, but at the end of the day, it's great basketball. Of course, the courts is here. They see the new design of the court. They love that. That's a stamp for you guys as well. But what's it like building a culture where people, when you hear Hoops in the Sun, you think, yeah, I can rock with those guys. Even if I don't even win the championship, I'm definitely playing in there just because of such and such.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, listen, I take pride in taking care of people, right? My dad was a patriarch for that, right? We knew that we came into the game, whatever color we are, whatever we're doing, this sport is the culture we make it. This place was a dead zone, and we wanted to put life into something that we feel like our people, meaning our multi-diverse cultural people, can have a place to say it's home. It's hard to get to this place, bro. It's hard. It's hard, man. And I keep saying that word pain. It's pain. It's pain. Because when you get here, it's the hardest thing to get to, but it's the most beautiful place you want to play at. So for me, I'm like I'm like Adam Silver, man. Like everybody loves Adam Silver because he does right by his people, and I know what it takes for them to come up here and bust their ass and put on a show. My man, let me tell you something. You play 12 minutes of 96-degree weather, and you score 36 points, man. You're a warrior, bro.
That's a different type of respect.
And I seen many people put in scar and pain and sweat, and be like, yo, I love you. Like, I need this. And I'd be like, yo, you want to put down maybe 10-minute quarters? No. We coming here to get this wreck, B. Everybody got this running times, whatever they got going on. We got to get to the beach. You're going to get a full game. You could be down 20 and you could win by 20. and I seen all those horror stories and all those celebrations.
I heard about a couple.
Right?
I heard about
I seen teams cave in. I've seen teams come from the 8th seed and play the ill gauntlet and win that trophy, right? So for me, I take pride in the fact that they could be anywhere they want to be at. And it's about product and branding, right? You know, I can't get guys in Brooklyn to come up all the time, but they want to play it because you know what? They love what we do, right? Queens, Bronx, Manhattan. We get people from Albany. We get people from Westchester. We get people from Connecticut.
Yep.
It's a landmark that attracts different other people to play at one hub. And I don't like to talk shit, man, but we're the only tournament that runs two simultaneously courts at the same time.
Yeah.
It's two damn tournaments at one time.
Yes.
Right? And we're doing this in 2 days and 11 weeks. 16 days total.
Playing on
From
Saturdays
9 to 7.
9 to 7 with 60 teams, man. Tell me about it.
Yeah.
And you talking about rain?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
Just from the
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So,
natural.
I'm confident to say that I respect my peers when I say this, man. Like, it's hard what we do. And, it's tough to be in our shoes. And anybody hearing this, like, I know, we are competitive. But, it's all love at the end of the day. And we want to put on the best product for our fans and for our players at all times.
Randy, I'll ask you this, right? Just to piggyback off of what Joe just said. When it comes to terms of just the Mount Everest aspect of it, the culture, like I spoke on, what drives you in terms of this? I can see the emotion on Joe's face, right? So like, what are your feelings when people be like, okay, do you think you're a player-friendly league? Like the things that you've done, knowing that, okay, people, you got to respect the pain that they brought to here, right? So with all those things running through your head, like, what do you speak on that?
I would say we are a player-friendly league. It's you gotta respect the people who, as you mentioned, who put time and effort. People who've been here 5, 10, 15 years, been with you since day one. You gotta always pay respect to those people who put that time in with you, because they basically grew up with you. You know, like when we started in 2000 and got players in 05, and you see the same players playing now in 2022, it's like, man, like, damn, like
yeah,
I saw you when you was like this.
Just trying to get in, yeah.
Whether you've won every year or not, you still come here for the love. You still come here because now you might have your own kids playing in the tournament, that's what the norm we've been seeing lately. And they just come back and show the love, because they know this is a hard tournament to run, and just to do it in the hot sun every weekend, Saturdays, Sundays, 9 to 7. It's not easy as the way me and Joe make it seem.
Okay.
So without our staff, I don't know where the tournament would be at. We make it seem it's like a well-oiled machine, and I think every tournament has to be that way. Just as long as you and your staff are clicking, everything would run properly. But my dad was always a people-friendly person. He'll talk to you like he's known you for 30 years, and it's always been that gift of gab. And it's like, why we are that way? That's how we grew up. And you show respect, you get the respect back, and anything that you do going forward, you have loyal people that are going to support you no matter what. Whether you're here in the gym, outside of New York City, they'll be with you 1,000%. So that's been our norm since, my dad passed away in 2004, and it's been, we've gone through the ups and downs and different kind of eras, and now we're in the social media era and stuff like that. So it's different. It's more of a young man's game now, and we're still relatively young, trying to keep up to speed with what's going on. And the fact that me and Joey always want to be like up to date. We never want to feel like we're not improving, not in the time that we're in. So my dad was like, he always said, and I'll end it with this. He always said, do you want to be one of many or one of one? And my brother and I always kept that, like, I just want to be us. I can't duplicate what X, Y, and Z do everywhere else.
Facts.
But you can't duplicate this.
Definitely.
Bottom
can.
line.
So let's tailor the basketball talk, right? We'll get back to. We can talk basketball all day with you fellas, right? So let's go a little personal, right? Can I get a little personal? So, knowing your dynamic, you guys are brothers, right? And the saying always goes, don't mix business and friendships or business and family and things like that. What would you say is the hardest thing you two have gone through since picking up the work and saying, okay, we gotta keep this going? What has been the hardest thing personally, not basketball or running it, but more so just you yourself had to go through to understand that, okay, some way we're gonna get to this point where this looks like this now?
I don't know. That's for me. I don't know if you want to take it away. I don't know if you want to take it away. I'll jump into it.
Like I said, it could be a gift and a curse where my brother and I, we just don't want to tell no to nobody. We want everybody to succeed at the same time, and we have a knack for wanting to look out for everyone, knowing whether we have it or not. And that's always been our good-hearted kind of nature. And I think we have the best friends in the world who know where we are, where we're trying to go. Our goals are like a 5-year plan. They know where it could go, and just always having our back, always having our support, whether it's here or outside of this. But I mean, it's difficult. It's hard. You try to keep the fine line of friends and family with the business side, and then sometimes your family don't really understand that side, and sometimes you're more here than with your family and your friends, and you gotta just have that boundary, that separation. But it's like once you're in it, they won't understand until they get here. They won't understand what you go through, because it's not just about putting a referee shirt on or setting up. It's from now until June, trying to get sponsors and partners and dealing with insurance and dealing with permits. It's a lot that goes into like a full-time job.
Yes.
Until the day you kick off the tournament. But I feel like I said earlier, without our staff being the backbone of the tournament, I don't know where we would be at. There's been a lot of downs. We're trying to get more on the upper echelon, but bottom line is you just got to find that balance of like what to do, what not to do, and just try to make everybody happy. And that's impossible, but you try to do your very best to make it happen.
Okay. Joe, talk to me.
Yeah, I think for me it's about relationships. I value my relationship with the people I do and have, and through ups and downs. But the biggest challenge for me in the transition, my dad passing and just taking over this reign of, what I thought was, what I know was going to be my empire. Was just trying to not follow his footsteps, right? It's like trying to figure out, like, can you be outside of your dad's shadow? And how well can you do this? And how can you move this ship? And how can you move the times? And how can you adapt? And understand this is going to be, I can say now, 20 years of sacrifice, man. Like, it's going to be like, I don't have any kids, so it's like, this is it, right? You put all your chips in. No, this is it. This is it. This is it. Everything goes into this because of what it means. It's the elevation of the Bronx. It puts a shadow on, like, hollow ground.
Okay.
Like, quick story, like, we just had somebody fly in an airplane and send us a freaking video of, like, flying over this.
The whole
like,
thing.
Wow.
And it's, like, surreal. It's like, I worked 20 hard fucking years to get this point.
Yes, sir.
And somebody sent me that, like, whoa. And then he's like, damn, that's a pretty ass picture, man. That's beautiful. So when you're able to see that and enjoy it, I know that we did not follow my pop's footsteps, but we create our own footsteps.
Okay.
And I think at this point in time, it's like that 20 years ago was over for me. Like, it's about my brother and our legacy, like what we're gonna put forward. And we started with the courts. We started with, new team. We started to really brand ourselves in a whole different facet, and we're doing this without a major apparel shoe deal. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you. 5 years, tough, financials, working the budget, taking care of the staff. Like, it's hard, man. And when people come here and expect more from me, I ain't gonna say there's always be some rosy days, but it's a heavy crown to wear.
So,
and if you're not ready to wear it, you're not ready to get stung by the thorns, you're not ready to really hold up that mantle, which was tough for me in the beginning, not only losing my pops, but also like being his brother and being somebody I gotta go to work. I'm working with him now, every day. So it was quick for us, but we navigated. We got through it, and there's not a better combination you're gonna find better than the Maloof brothers right here with the fake Maloof brothers.
You said something I wanted to touch on. It kind of led into what I was already thinking, but like, just quick question: what's the year difference between you guys?
5.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
So Joe, you being the junior, and I look at examples like LeBron James, and he had named his son LeBron James Jr. But then, of course, as Bronny, as he now goes by, wanted to make a name for himself, he says, yo, you did what you did already. I'm trying to make my own stuff. Now he goes by Bronny James. And LeBron he talks about this before, but he said where he's thought twice about that name, giving him that name, because he didn't think about the responsibility. Right. So when I try to take you guys back to that unfortunate time when you've heard the news about your father, like, what was did it feel like everything fell on your shoulders because now it's big bro got to take care of little bro, or was it we're just in this together? What was your mindset as a bigger brother starting that out?
That was, that was tough. Life just crashed for us, and I was like, damn, I'm playing ball, and I'm not gonna be a CEO. So that year was the championship that his team that I played for was in that. We're playing TMP. Fucking TMP. Fucking TMP. But it was an emotional time, man. It was my dad was in the hospital, and my players kept going back and forth, and it was it was one of those rides. You want to take the ride and win out for Pops and thinking that he gonna come through out with this situation. And it was one of the classic games. TMP was at the peak of their run, man. TMP was the Golden State Warriors, bro. Like, they were tough. And we came against a monster, and we gave him a fight of life. And I played in that game, and that was memorable, but it was emotional. You want to win it for him, and then after that, he had passed a few days before that championship, so it was hard to even do the championship game. And then, what became for me playing in that game, and I gotta sit here and say, all right, the same people I just played ball with, I gotta be their boss now and be like, now you gotta pay me this ref fee. You gotta give me this entry fee. I'm Joe Cruz Jr. You should give me my respect. And it wasn't easy, man. It wasn't easy because I played ball, but I didn't have the reputation like some of these guys have now, like to get that respect of ball. Like, oh yeah, it's Joe because he could play ball. No, this is Joe because it's Joe's son. And I had that on my tag a lot. So I had that monkey in my back, man. That shit was tough. And I said, nah, man, I'm gonna change this. But you have to crawl before you walk, and it was tough. And then at that same time, trying to make sure I support him and his ideas and his vision, because he's a true visionary of this whole process, right? This is his canvas. I'm just paying for it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to figure it out. And he's an expensive painter, but to sit here right now with you, my brother, on these courts, remind me of Jay-Z, man. I can sit in my own arena. And I'm proud to say that because there's not many courts that look like this, man. And I'm proud to say that. So just to be out that shadow of my pops and then be now known as Joe Cruz, or not Joe Cruz or Joe the Pop's son, or they don't even call me Junior no more. I'm Joe Cruz. That's me.
I like that. I like that a lot. So when we talk about just atmospheres, right? When we talk about when you see your brother going through the things that he went through in terms of getting the monkey off his back, or what was your role as we start to get into the business aspect of things, where now you guys are co-owners and co-everything, like, what are the roles like? So, because everybody can't be face, everybody can't be behind the scenes, everybody can't be doing this, everybody can't be doing that. What are the roles like, starting with you, Randy, where it's like, okay, bro, you got to do this, I'll handle this, and then, okay, what do we do when we need this? When we both can't do it, what are those discussions like, starting from your end?
Well, before my dad passed, I was just doing the camera, photos, video camera, taping the games. And then after that, it was more like, oh, I got to design uniforms. I got to, like, do the PowerPoint decks, and I got to do the recaps. I got to, okay. And
like that. Boom.
Just like that. And as time went on, you kind of get the hang of it. And the roles now is that like I said, from September to May, it's about getting the permit locked in, getting insurance locked in, finding the teams who's gonna participate. We have a huge youth component, which is the Rising Suns League.
Yes.
That is like the big conglomerate of this whole venue. Over 55 teams by itself, and it's like, all right, we gotta find 50 teams to play. 9U, 10U, 12U, 14, 16, high school. It's bizarre, and majority of that load is on Joe. Scheduling wise comes to me.
This is your side, okay.
We split the youth schedule, the women's schedule, the men's schedule. Hearing certain teams can't play on certain weekends, they got family obligations, they got birthdays, and just dealing with that. Every year trying to find your partners, your sponsors, who's gonna financially help you, who's gonna believe in the product that you put out every single summer. So like, we've had Adidas, we've had Nike, we've had the Mountain Dews and the Yankees and the Knicks and the Brooklyn Nets, and they've always been a great support every single year. But as business goes, it changes.
Yes,
You're here one year sponsoring, partnering, then it's like next year, I felt it's out of my control, but I can't help you. Then it's like, all right, now what do we do? And it puts this big cloud over me and Joe. Like, damn, is it worth it? Can we do it without a big time partner? And we've proven we can. And which is extra
Still
harder.
pain though.
It becomes harder because now you gotta reach into your own pockets.
Yes, and that's when emotions get tested.
And that's what people don't understand. Like, you're hearing them crying the sideline for referees and this foul, but they don't really know. Like, yo, man, I'm like almost broke putting this tournament on. That uniform you have on, like, I pay for that. And it's like, people, when they hear that, they really understand, like, man, this is not easy. This is far from my only imagination. So sometimes players, when they do their own tournament, or the coach puts on their own tournament, then they realize, man, I commend you and Joe, because you go through a lot of bullshit, whether it's warranted or not. But I truly understand and admire you that you do this for 20 plus years, 2 decades. And I started in that golden era of street ball.
Yes, I was getting
before us was Rucker, West Fourth, and Dykeman, and you started right in that cusp of golden basketball.
And even geographically,
Geographically, and I know the basketball landscape has changed now, but we share the roles equally. He's more of the money man. I'm more of the visionary, and that's why he says my thoughts are very expensive. But when you're here right now and you look at it, it's like that's from here. And I had to get someone, Project Backboard, design this and lay this foundation up, because I felt like, when you come to the beach, does it feel like hoops in the sun? How much can you really feel like it's? I got the beach. But does it feel like home?
How can you make this? Exactly.
And I wanted to make it feel like I'm going to my own arena, like Joe, you mentioned, my own stadium. When I'm at the beach, I'm at a home floor. And I encourage every tournament to do the same. But this right here was a major, costly thing to do. But you got to do things like that to get that respected and get those phone calls from the partners and sponsors in video games and say, listen, I see what you guys doing. Let's work together.
Now they set you apart.
I appreciate the grind.
Yeah.
So
it's very key.
And I don't want to forget nobody out, but my staff does help out too. There's my boy Kendrick. He's very big on the design process of uniforms, and that's number one. Everybody's saying, yo, I know you're gonna have some hot uniforms, and it's every year you have to live up to those expectations. Last year was dope. What about next year? I'm like, I don't know, man. You gotta give me a couple of months. We do the backboards, we do the rims. It just when you come here, it's a very unordinary spot to play basketball. So
unordinary, I like that word. So in terms of
Shout out to Kendrick, man, for real. Appreciate that. Yeah, and Mike and Unique and G-Stacks, the announcer, Bobby C, Spicy, Cha-Ching.
We got like 4 announcers, 2
Johnny.
DJs. It's a lot.
I mean,
it's a lot.
Rella Harlem. I mean, if I forget anybody, I'd be wrong. But it takes a village to do this, man. You know, and we got a really solid team. I don't rotate teams, so I'm loyal to the game and loyal to people that put me in the game. So if I'm able to get the succeed of the proceeds or stuff like that going on and sit here and speak to you, it's not because of me, it's because of my team and that we put together that, you know, that we got this done. So I'm proud to say that today.
I'm in the game for only a couple years, right? You guys have been here way longer. You've seen a lot more different things that I've seen. But from my vantage point, right, when it comes to these announcers or their allegiances to their different parks, and you just name announcers where I've seen them in their quote unquote home park. You get what I'm saying? How do you give off such a home environment to a competitive sport, a competitive arena?
I'm mature to say this. It don't matter to me. It don't matter what park it is. It's still NYC basketball.
Indeed.
So, of course you want the best of Hoops in the Sun. Of course you want it. Of course. You want the best announcers. You want, you know, and you chase. And, you know, I've been a victim to that. You know, everybody does that, right? Everybody does hear this and say that. Otherwise, from a ball player to a ref to a commissioner, you always want to be in the best situation. But what I realized, I can say I've had everybody that need to be up here. And they have a home here. So if Ching wants to grab the mic, or Spicy, or G-Stacks, or Johnny, or whoever, or Varel, or Mike Lowry, I don't care. I don't care for the chat outside. I just want everybody to be unified here because this ain't the situation or the platform for us to feel like we divide and conquer. As you can see, my people's back there doing a little combo, right? I mean, you feel like there's a game going on, right? There's nothing going on but, you know, this. But yeah, I mean, that's what Hoops in the Sun is about, and that's my mission. And you know, I'm glad to say it with you, man. It's a beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful
Seriously,
day.
Man.
We was talking about whether the weather was going to hold out for the different day, but it showed out today.
I don't know if the ball players will come out today, but damn, it's a nice ball day, man. Wow.
And it also feels good when an announcer tells you, announcer, player, coach, whoever, they tell you, I gotta get Orchard off the bucket list. I gotta do the beach. And I've heard that many times.
I know a couple
when you announce a team, coach who has never played here, and we tell them, yo, man, we give you that look, like, come on now. And the thing is, I got you. I got to do the beach. We'll make it happen. So it just, we want the beach to be that kind of venue where when it's all said and done, at least you can say, I played here, I coached here, I refereed here, I announced here. And go on from there.
Okay, so let's talk New York City. Let's talk New York City past and old, right? So you've gone through the early 2000s, 2010s, and now starting the 20s. What has been your opinion? Anybody can take this question. What's been your outlook on the way the game has been played? You grew up watching the 80s and the 90s in that era of basketball, and then now in the early 2000s, it's more of a crossover. No pun intended, but like that type of handle game. But now it's more so if it's a long 2-point shot, that's a bad shot. You get what I'm saying? Now the analytics say 3-pointers and layups is how you win a game. What has been your outlook on what the game has changed like from in different parks you see, and then can guys bring that same game to your park? Like, what has been the evolution of the game that you sat back and said, okay, I haven't seen that, or I like how this turned out, or I don't like this part of the game?
Yeah, I think it's, and I'll be quick, I think it's different. Like, I missed the time frame where you had to be at a park 3 o'clock in the afternoon to get in. Because you knew damn well if you ain't there early, you ain't getting in. Or everything is word of mouth.
Yeah.
And nothing was, again, we're in the social media era now. It's highlights, it's this, it's IG, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. And, you know, people do these things for what they say now, the gram. They do it for the camera. They do it for the highlights. You know, back then, you had to be there live. now it's I could watch it on this streaming app, and I don't really got to go to the park. I could be at home chilling, but I can still watch it from afar.
Mm-hmm.
But I still miss the era where you had to be there live. Whether it was Rucker, Dykeman, Pro City at the time, Kingdom, you got to feel the energy. And our time frame is seeing the golden era of basketball. You know, John Strickland, DP, Kenny Satterfield, the list goes on and on. Like you had to be there live to watch their greatness. And now it's like, you know what? If I feel like I can't make it, I'll watch it online. I'll watch it later on tonight.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of miss out on why you have to be at a certain park for a certain game. I mean, I'm cut from that cloth of I'm more old school and retro in that aspect. But there's a lot of great players in this era. A lot of great females and males and young kids. And, you know, the better thing of now is they're getting more of a look. It's easier to get noticed. All the cameras in here, and back then it's like, damn, nobody was going live. No one had the phone. Nobody had the phones out, and you know, now it's easier to get noticed, and that's a good thing because kids from here go to the top high schools and top colleges, get a G League look, or get overseas, or get a pro-am look. So that's the beauty of the era that we're in now. But I still miss the throwback days of you just got to be there live to watch it.
Yeah,
Anything,
man.
Joe?
Listen, I've been blessed to have Hoops in the Sun in my life because it opened so many doors to me, and the opportunity to see the competition come through these courts is rather unique because, like Randy said, you know, you ain't gonna come here to shoot jump shots, bro. You're not really gonna come down here and come down that lane, bro. You're not. It ain't that kind of game. So when you say the evolution of the game, I agree with Randy. I feel like the game was much more intentional. It was more intentional before. Like, you wanted to rep. You wanted to rep your city, your borough, my position. I'm the best power forward in the city. I'm the best center in the city, right? And it wasn't self-proclaimed. You gotta get those scars, you know. And I'm talking about trenches, like places that either are still around or no longer even here, right? So, but for them to get it here, I love that. But I tell you, it ain't gonna be because you shoot a jump shot out here. I've seen the best shooters in the world come out here and try to shoot a three, and that shit go sideways, bro. That shit.
The wind.
I've seen, and
everything.
I don't want to put nobody live on this, right? Don't do that. I'm just saying, we had the pleasure of having Anthony Morrow out here. I actually played with the Brooklyn Stompers on the whim. It was dope. Love. Shout out to Anthony Morrow. And I was like, oh, it's about to get crazy. Anthony Morrow's in the building. Oh, right? And it did. And just, like he said, yo, this is a different game, bro. Like, it's different. Like, the outside aesthetics is just different. Like, the back door, I can't see. The sun is gleaming me. The wind is this way. I'm shooting more to my right than my left on my free throws on the free throw line. I can't get a rhythm. And I said, oh, pros.
The Mount Everest
Street Ball, right? And shout out to G Stacks, our announcer, who give us that opportunity to hear that line for such a long time. And we finally woke up, understood what it meant to climb that ladder for the Mount Everest to get to this point where to be the pinnacle of basketball, right? Like, when you see the championship here, it's a pinnacle of basketball. It's a celebration of 11 weeks of hard work. So,
a lot of hard work.
And you know, just the competition that we will see is, it's depending on who we get and how they're able to really adjust to the game. And like Randy said, the game is changing social media wise. The game is changing from a perspective of 3-pointers and just not, you know, it's just different intentional. It's just, people are playing for different intention, and I think sometimes that gets misconstrued in terms of like how the game is played. So we are here to recertify basketball and put it in its highest element, and that's why, you know, all these commissioners, including ourselves, put on these kind of platforms and forums for these guys.
So we talked about the player league. We've talked about your culture, right? So when you combine these two things, I've seen clips. I've seen year-old clips. I've been talking to guys and saying, like, you guys give back to those that show love to you, right? How important is that? Because I've seen events held on these two same very courts but it has nothing attached to hoops in the sun. It's called something else because technically it's not, but they're on the court, but it's not our. This is your platform to do something, right? I've seen different clips of you guys. Jay Will for the Kill, he had his one-on-one league going on, and you have other leagues doing that, other different ideas.
Right.
How important is that to provide the community, different aspects of New York City, something that is not just your league?
We just want to have the opportunity to work with people together to be more unified. We want to have our courts be more of a place where it's a safe haven, but it's also a place for us to kind of congregate and have conversations, but also not being a word of competition. And we show love, man, because like we said for the past 30 minutes, man, we that's who we are, man. Like we if we were assholes, you know how much beef we'll get in the hood? You know how much beef we'll get in the street ball?
You're
This
not wrong.
fucking Joe and Randy acting like fucking dicks. That's what my language. But the assholes, they think they're bigger than I was here when I just started. You think I want to hear that? No, because it's true. I wouldn't be there. We would not be here without them either, right? They wave the flag for us. So when they go to Gersh, when they go to Dykeman, when they go to EBC, Tri-State, Watson, all my tournaments, they wave a flag. Because if you score 20 here, it's like 40 down there. And no disrespect to no tournaments. I love them. It's just the time, right? It's 12-minute quarters. It's stop clock. It's this and that. It's the grueling conditions. So, we want to keep preserve that, and and we love our consumers, man. We love our customers because listen, Obi Toppin came from here, man. I played with his pops. I was in Pops 5, starting 5. We started a team under my dad, Obi Toppin Senior. Salute to you, champ. Like. He came out here and played, and now I see his son play in my league. Tonight he's a pro in the New York Knicks. Like, you got
full circle moment.
You just Lance Stevenson, you Dwight Hardy. I don't want to lose no names out. You got Marcus
Kimba
Williams,
too.
Kimba, Ron Artest.
Yeah.
Jimmy Fredette.
I definitely know those names.
T-Mac,
I looked into those.
I'm not name dropping. I'm just saying, like we've made some stamps in the world to bring people all across the world to come here. We had Tim Thomas on here one time. We had. John Lewis III. We
had Hami out here. You got
Bobo
out here.
Hami. And these are thoroughbreds in New York City. So to have them up here, whether they playing or for the love, that's what we ask for. Because at the end of the day, like we want the kids to really get back and be like, damn, I just seen Cole Anthony, I just seen Jose Alvarado, I just seen these guys playing these tournaments. Respectfully, I want to build to that, and that's what the kids should strive for, and that's what our forums are supposed to be for. So that's our mission, and that's how we're gonna rep it moving forward.
Okay. So as we come down, I just want to ask a couple, personal questions that, some ballers have told me, yo, you got to ask these guys these questions, how they do it, So one question is,
we got questions for the fans?
Oh,
yeah,
boy.
there's a couple questions I had to ask these. I had to ask a couple ballers that I know that definitely hold you guys in high regard. So they was like, yo, if you're going to do this, you got to ask these. I'm like, all right, cool. So there's this one question. One fan said, or one player said, he asked, how do you guys pick your all-decade teams, right? And as, we just ended a decade, so, like...
I have an idea who that might be.
I think we all know who that might be.
I have an idea who that might be.
But, yeah, give the people, I'll make it a broader question, but in terms of the awards you give out and the type of things you guys do, the festivities.
No, I don't mind answering the decade. Trust me, you're looking at the guy who put the list together, so it's like I got to answer it, but... You look at the guys who made an impact. You look at winning as, a top criteria, made an impact, what they meant to your league in the time that they were in. So, how consistent they are, being professional.
The body of work.
And then, if you're a scoring champion, MVP, you're MVP of the finals, or...
Who you beat.
Are you... And do you do it everywhere else, too? So, if you're on an all-decade team, that's the body of work. I look at, what's very, very important is, like I mentioned earlier, the impact you provided for the tournament when the tournament is still on the up. So, all right, you're doing your thing. We're growing, too. People in the city are gonna know what you did in a half hour, and they'll be like, "Yo, talking about you had 60 where? At the beach? Oh, it's crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like it's like an anomaly. That shit don't happen like that up here unless you really like a Dwight Hardy, Kenny Sat, Mike Glover type player. That shit don't happen every time. And a guy like Kenny Sat who did it multiple times is the reason why he's on an all-decade team. I forgot who's on it, but it's like you earn that. And we watch as much as we try to. We try to watch every game, and then we're always walking around doing something, but we watch from afar.
Yeah.
And if you break a record, if you have the all-time record in scoring points or this or 3-pointers made, I'm gonna keep that in the back of my mind. So doing those things are fun because it creates, not saying controversy, it creates a banter. It creates a conversation where it's like, you know what? You made that team for a reason. Even though I've never seen you play, but it's got to be a reason why they put you on that team. I mean, on the all-decade list. And if you're on there, you deserve it. So I know Kiki Clark is on it, Dwight Hardy, Jordan Aaron, Kedar, Strickland, DP, Smush. It's a lot of people on that list. And it's like a guy like Smush. He's on it because in our time of coming up, he was the best player in the league. And when he's doing that, we're getting more notoriety, or like, oh, where's that at? Oh, you know what? I gotta come check you out sometime. Let me know your next game. What's, stuff like that. So it's just the impact they have overall on a league, and we also look out for them, putting them in the Hall of Fame. So it's like your hard work doesn't go unnoticed. You are gonna be, showed mad love to anybody who's seen you play, who've never seen you play. But the bottom line is, we ain't gonna forget that ride we had together, because without you, this tournament don't get the love as much as it could get by ourselves.
Yes, sir.
It's the Old Testament and New Testament.
I like
right?
that.
It's the Old Testament and the New Testament. You got the old timers that put in that work, that has a Bible of. If you open that file of what work they put here, you cannot. It's undeniable. But it's also the new guard, and we know that people want to make this list. We only have what? How many spots was it?
It was 5.
5 spots.
First, second, third team, so 15 players.
Spots.
15 spots.
But what I'm saying is, like, there's gonna be another all team. There's gonna, we put the Hall of Fame and we go hard for Hall of Fame. There's not many people that say that we do Hall of Fames. But what I say again, Hoops in the Sun is the reincarnation of Nike Pro City, and is the reincarnation of the NBA. Randy does a great job making sure that if you're gonna bust your ass and commit to us, we're gonna commit to put you on a platform of like no other, and that is like Rookie of the Year, Coach of the Year, MVP, All-Decade
Scoring
Team,
champion.
Scoring Champ,
All-Star MVP,
All-Star MVP, Championship MVP, James Sticks Award winner, Strick Award. I mean, the list goes on, right? And we're looking to recreate that into a higher level, to magnify the beauty of them adding to the art. Because the painting was ugly before, right? In terms of where we're gonna stick at and where we're gonna be at in terms of this street ball conversation.
Yeah.
And we may not be in those top 5 in some people's list. I don't know why. We should. Take 2 weekends with us and figure out what it does to be top 5. But if we're not, I get it. But what I'm saying is, we do it for the purity of our heart. We're genuine. We love basketball, man. We bet on it. We played it. We coached it. We referee it. It's in my blood. I dedicated my life to this basketball stuff. It gave me everything I wanted. Besides me being a pro. I'm around pro players. I'm around people that can have conversation on the one call and be like, yo, what's up, Joe? What you need? Like, it's a great door. So, that's the canvas I see, and I'm the business part of it. Like, I don't watch all the games. I got my head is on a swivel.
Yeah.
But I trust my staff, my announcer, my brother be like, yo, listen, these are the best players in the league, and we're gonna highlight them. So, shouts to those people who made that list. Whoever's on it, there's gonna be a new list coming out, and more stuff to come out. But Hoops in the Sun is about y'all, and we love you guys. And if there's 1,000 places spots for you guys, we got you. But there's only so much that we could do, and I appreciate the energy of making sure that we stay on top of that expectation.
And it's also longevity. You gotta. If you're an all-decade team, it's 9-10 years. You gotta be playing more than 5, 6, 7. Like you can't be 2 years and where's my spot at?
Quick run.
Right.
So it's like to put a cap on it. I feel like I always had the best list when I say, all right, if you take him off, who do you put? It's like every year NBA All-Stars are announced. Mm-hmm. Oh, come on, man. How come he didn't make it? All right, if you take him off, who makes it? Right. Then you're like, I don't know. That's my point. That's why he
exactly. If you
can't
give me a better name, then
exactly.
What are we saying here
give me a better argument, and I tell you my argument, and then again, you might be right, but I can't change it now.
Facts.
So you gotta wait till the following decade.
If you're still here,
exactly.
We'll definitely talk about that one again.
Yeah.
But all right, fellas. So just a couple last questions. Definitely last two before we get up out of here.
There's no other player questions besides the all-decade team?
Oh man, no fans.
I had to make sure, because when I asked these questions, some guys just gave you the stamp. They didn't really. Some guys didn't need any more questions. Like for real though. Like in a vacuum, I asked guys. I'm like, okay, what do you think? What do you want? What do you want to know? They was like, yo, bro, I know you do a job, but they need people to understand that people respect what they do.
Facts.
And that's mostly, I'm talking mostly Brooklyn guys, because I know Bronx will definitely go to other Bronx tournaments, but guys that got to travel.
Yeah.
I look at those type of things.
But you know what, too, real quick?
Mm-hmm.
That's the one thing I admire and respect, because whatever we do, a certain list or this, whatever, our DMs go up. Our text goes up. Yo, what's up? What do you mean, what's up? I can't make the list.
I can't get one.
I'm like, bro, I just put it out 5 minutes ago. But they love it, and I thank them for that, because it shows they're paying attention, and they want the recognition. They will get it at a certain point, and it just always makes me feel good that I could rightfully do that, and know that I'm gonna get proper feedback from that. It won't go unnoticed. So whether it's an all-star this or decade team or whatever, people really respect that aspect of what we do, because we mimic NBA. I want the season awards. I want this. I want that. We ain't gonna play it 10 weeks and be like, all right, I see you next year. That's not.
Point I heard
that's not what we do. If it's earned and deserved, we'll give you that.
It's a powerful award, man. It's a powerful award to be an MVP here. It's powerful to say I won the chip or the MVP at the beach. It's a very hard task, and it's a very, when you get there, you make it notice. So that's just things that we value in terms of the awards. Even though we like to give it out, we want to make sure that's rewarding and well deserved, to make sure that the integrity of the award stays where it's at.
Integrity of the award. So. The question I wanted to ask was, if you're sitting here today, right, and all we got is the future, whatever this video here is stamped in the fact that it's a time code, that at this day, at this time, this happened, this, that, and the third. What is your message to either a guy like me who's trying to build up his media empire, his media business with the people he's working with? What do you say to the guys that, all right, probably have been here 10, 15 years and trying to get to the 2025s? What do you say to the guys that are just trying to look for a safe haven in basketball? Like, what is your advice to guys that are just doing what they do, women as well, because the women's league is definitely powerful here. We didn't touch on it too much. I was trying to keep it more general. But
we can talk about the women's league. Matter of fact, before we answer that question, I'm going to shout out to my women pro league, man. I really am proud to introduce that to the world of Hoops in the Sun family. I would say we've done a bad job, but I think we've maybe undervalued, maybe the effort to kind of get more women basketball here, because we always got to know, or it's too far, it's too, whatever, it's too high, it's too early, or it's just because it's just my AAU season or whatever. And I just got deflated after so many years. And I just, and my brother kept saying, no high school girls. No. I'm like, nah, I can't get it. And, listen, what I noticed is that if you're gonna commit to Hoops in the Sun, it's a commitment, right? It's got to be the travel, be on time. It's a lot, right? So if you're not gonna give me that, don't waste my time, because I just know what it is, right? Yeah. Anytime I heard I'm on the highway, I'll be right there. Let me tell you, I'm in the parking lot.
I'm in the parking lot.
Parking lot.
I don't
like
want to call
20
no
minutes.
names out. You know, I don't have my uniforms. You know, we're talking about accommodating. We accommodate a lot, right? Anyway, we get that off my chest. But
Hey, you gotta get
where
it
was
off
I
your
at? Where
chest.
was I at?
The women's.
Man,
program.
so women's, man, like shouts to my women's pro league, our women's pro league, man. Like I just had it. Like I had people. I just got to a point where people kept asking me, "When you gonna put the women's? When you gonna do the women's? When you gonna do the women's?" And I'm like, "Leave me the fuck alone. I don't know how to do it. I'm gonna get it." So
It wasn't the right timing. I think
Wasn't
this
the right
this
timing.
year was the right time.
So I've had conversation with my brother, obviously Kendrick, who's our partner, and and other people in our set, and they loved it. They said, if you could do it, you could do it. I knew I needed help. So the lesson learned from this, sometimes when you're in this business, you don't know how to ask for help, because you're at a pedestal of, you should know, or that's Joe Cruz, or that's Kenny Stevens, or that's Damian Pitts, or that's Lee Green, or that's Mousy, or that's my guys EVC. Like it's what it is. Like it's what the expectation calls for. And Kenny Graham, and if I'm missing, I'm sorry guys, I love you guys, but it's just what it calls for, and it's like sometimes you can't meet that expectation. And this time I made sure, I said, no, we're doing this shit. We're going to do this shit. I promise you I'm going to do it. So I decided to call Mark Williams from Team Footprints. My guy, shout out to Team Footprints. Mark's a solid guy, man. A true gladiator in women basketball that continues to put our black and brown, women and even our Caucasian women in so many good situations, man. And from pros to overseas to a true patriot. I'm telling you, top class. And then when I was able to speak to him, he saw my vision, spoke to myself, I need help. I don't want to step on nobody's toes. I know people doing certain things in certain city. I know how people can get. I just want to carve my niche in this space. And we did a great job doing that in the Winter League, to kind of introducing it, to see how the interest was. And we had some good teams. Shouts to Coach Munch, who also was part of that conversation, helped me out. But just kind of feeling more supported, feeling like, no, if you're going to do a women's league or girls league, you got to go to Hoops in the Sun. And I felt good with that. And I, fast forward to the summertime, they just said, nah, we're doing this, man. We want to play in the summertime. We want to do the beach. We did the gym already. We want to really experience that. And the true admiration I have for those women to really give me their all this summer. Like, I was tearing up for the chip, because, it was a great chip between Mark and, Team Footprints and
No Limit.
And No Limit. It was dope. And just to see those two teams go at it, to have it in the championship venue, it was dope. It was surreal, and to take care of them with the awards was just, I love my ladies, man. They're dope, and I know Raina does too, so I don't want to hijack that. You want to add on the women's stuff? No,
I think you said everything.
So shouts to my women's pro league. Shouts to, the logo's fire, the uniforms are fire. My girls can hoop. They know they fuck with us. We love them back, and once we're part of family, man, we're family. And those are my girls. I'll do anything for my girls. They know that. Segue into.
Nah, you good, boss. You definitely got
give me that segue now.
We were talking about just the impact of
the advice you.
Yes, the advice you give to guys, like people in my position, building up, people that are trying to get to 20 but are in decades.
You're gonna come across so many obstacles in this upward battle to be where you want to be at. And we've crossed a lot of different boundaries, a lot of loopholes to get to where we at. I would say if you want to be an entrepreneur or successful in this business, you're gonna be deflated before you become magnified. And you have to take you gotta put your pain in, and you gotta understand you're not gonna come in here with it fed to you. You gotta earn that. And I think that for me, being spoiled from my dad's relationships, or people that he worked with, or people just being my dad's son, I took for granted that I didn't work hard to build those intentional relationships with people. Then I feel like, if you're going to be in business and you're going to continue doing this work, stay true to who you are. Don't chase the wrong things, which I've done before. So young entrepreneurs, stay true to what you're doing and your integrity, what you're about. It'll drive you to different places, good, bad, or indifferent, that will make you. I have a lot of good, bad, or indifferent moments that made me who I am now, that I can say, you know what, I've encountered that, I can deal with that. So people don't know how to deal with that when they're going through it. They get deflated, they get discouraged, they start to say, no, my money's in this shit, fuck that shit, I'm not doing it no more. I'm off this. I'm doing something else. You got to stay the course, because there's going to be a lot of diversion. A lot of people going to really get you off your course to get you back in your vision. Right? And I'm really big on vision. I'm really big on, shout out to Visionary. Just does everything in terms of.
Visionary.
what we are about, is about an overall like goal to get to that point. And if you get steer wrong, you get off the course, get back on it. And if you really truly passionate and want to do it, because there's time I want to quit. There's times that I'm financially strapped. There's times that I can't get the right sponsor, or the sponsor don't really react to me because of, whatever. It's just a lot of different things, and you get deflated. And it's like, you know what? I'm not going to create that narrative for me to feel I'm a failure. I'm going to continue to prove them wrong. So that's been my motto, and that's what his motto's been, and that's why we in the game for 22 going 23 years. So anybody want to stay that, come to me. I'm here for you guys. I know this to not have help and to get help, it's two different things, man. So I'm here, and that's just my soulfulness towards that topic.
Randy, talk to me.
I gotta follow that.
You right. You right. Big bro set the groundwork. We gonna leave it at that.
Just be real, be authentic, be you. Have confidence in what you're doing and where you want to go. Have like a 5-year plan, and like Joey said, just know that you are gonna have people supporting you and doubting you, but that's just the extra battery in your back to show those people that you are gonna be great at what you do. So there's many tournaments in the world. There's many podcasters and interview people, but what's gonna make them go to you? Just got to be different. And I think, like I said earlier, people love what we do because we're different, and we make everything different up here. So long as you're providing something that's not being done over here, and you do it over here, they'll gravitate to you more than none.
All right, last question, last but not least. What is one thing that happened this year that you felt your park should improve on?
That what?
That you felt your park should improve on.
Should improve on.
You
That
feel me?
fucking
We're always
parking.
growing. We're always
The
growing.
fucking parking. Let me tell the world, I don't have 100 passes for parking. I ain't paying for parking. I love y'all, and I'm paying parking too.
I wish.
I don't control parking. The Parks Department, I'm not even the Parks Department. I'm sorry. Off that. The vendorships take care of that. So if I could change anything, would be the parking. If I could have night games.
We can't control the sun, so
And
that's
if I
just
could have people really appreciate that the water's actually better than what people have heard in the past in the beach. I know our fans are not really big on the water and going in the water, but truly just appreciate the aesthetics, man. Like it's a place that's growing. It's a hidden paradise. It's for everybody, right? It's for everybody that want to have a good time. Who doesn't want to have a drink? Who doesn't want to watch basketball? Who doesn't love women? Who doesn't love aesthetics? Who doesn't love this ambiance, right? So if you're not about that, this ain't the place for you.
They've been at the court
This
playing
ain't the
music
place
since
for you.
we
Maybe
got
I shouldn't
here,
be
y'all.
calling your
Yep.
phone asking you to come play. It's not for you. But if you're about that, like this is hoops paradise at its finest. Hoops in the sun is what it is. You get everything that you want to get out of it. But I wish that the parking was different. I wish the temperature was down. I wish we could do night games. And if those things that are in my control, I would change that. And I'm a believer of that. And I'm gonna strive to get to that. But those are things I would change if I had to have it my way.
they're out here fall, winter, spring.
Oh, the guys playing music and with the
Yeah.
handball
Yeah,
court and
yeah,
everything. They
yeah.
just
We've been here in November, December, January after a blizzard, and
they still chilling
people
right here.
people out here they're on the
The
boardwalk.
culture is
just-
strong.
Before he goes, I even would look to get in a dome, like to make this a place we can go to all the time. But I know it's kind
If
of brick
you
ass up here.
create this a dome
Oh boy!
It's
Look,
crazy. No, that's been
to put
ideas,
a covering over this,
But then again, why do that? Then you take away the element of the tournament.
Ooh. That's a discussion
just saying.
for the
I'll let the
brothers.
fans speak about that.
So your point. This
Yeah,
is
man.
above SRL pay grade, man. This is not my decision here.
I would say, like Joey's point, making people know the tournament is here. Great. Appreciating that there's more than just basketball here.
going on.
That
yeah.
you could have events here. You could have Memorial Day weekend, July 4th stuff here. Labor Day, you could go in the sand, go in the water, bring your kids, do volleyball in the sand, do handball. It's a multicultural sport venue aside from basketball.
Yes.
And
Right.
my personal goals would be trying to get this venue into a video game. I've been trying to get this to 2K
please.
for the
man.
longest time.
Seriously,
And
Y'all
I'm like,
your boys.
that was the main reason why of redoing this. So, like, all right, if you see it,
You know what it
now,
is.
now can we have a conversation? Because the court prior, I get it. Now it's like why not?
Right.
And another major goal before we wrap up is I've always wanted to have top to play or not NBA top flight players to come to this venue, because it's gonna get a point in time where we're gonna stop just, hey, are you in town? You in town? You in town? Come through. And it's like, I know that time will come
Where you don't even have to hit guys no more.
where they will
I understand
call
that.
us or text us, yo, I'm in town for the
Yeah.
weekend. What you got going on? They'll come through.
And we only do it because we want our kids to experience that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're fans too, and sometimes we could be a little grouped out as a personal fan. But like, truth be told, we want them to really be on hollow ground and show kids some love. So I mean, I wanted to add that to you, but that's all we really want that
Like
about.
the kids can one day just be here and see a Kyrie or
Yep.
James Harden or Kevin Durant just pull up. Oh shit! Like
Yep.
nobody knew about it, and you want to provide that experience. Like, man, like you never know who's gonna come through and pull up at 2:00 in the afternoon on a hot ass day. That's always been a dream. If they want to play it, that'd be extra lovely. But I get the landscape of concrete, but just having those guys, someone involved, it kind of puts the extra stamp. Like, these guys are for real. Like,
So
I
we need
fuck
that,
with
y'all.
them.
We need that help.
So-
for sure.
and listen, we've had quite a few NBA guys come here,
Mhm.
and we thank them. We appreciate them. But I know with the way the venue is now going into 2023, I think more guys will pop up. It's only a matter of time.
Only a matter of time. Well, gentlemen, this was an honor. I think I did actually climb the mountain, guys. I'm not going to lie to you.
How you feel?
Feel good. Feel good. The sun don't hurt as much as
on you, bro.
the sun don't hurt as much as it
Okay,
was in the
okay.
beginning. So,
Well, come see us in June, July, man. It's a different
Come see us in
conversation.
mid-July.
A little
I
bit,
like that energy.
you'll be in those shades right there.
Yeah, I know.
And
Y'all be
all
having
my
tents
tents
up
that
and
be
stuff.
out here. Yeah. Just like everybody
Man.
else.
Mr. Joey and Randy Cruz, I really appreciate
Pleasure,
the
bro.
opportunity you gave me
Thank
for
you.
blessing my platform and having me on this sacred, hallowed ground, climbing Mount Everest. I definitely, the journey was a little rough. I had to get up a little early. I had to,
Yes.
the sun on my face,
Yes.
no hat, no cap, with
Yes.
but what you guys have here is definitely special, and I
Appreciate
mean
you.
that from the bottom of my heart.
Thank you.
I have not seen like I said, I'm only here 2 years. This has been 2 years since I've been doing
Yeah.
this street ball stuff,
Yeah.
and no court has caught my eye in terms of mystique, where you just really walk in. Nothing could be going on, but you walk in and it's like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I know where I'm at.
I
So,
appreciate that, man.
Thank you,
Listen, I
guys.
wanted you to keep building, man. Kill calm in the charge, man. You do great content. Your team is strong, man. You guys give a different perspective on the lenses that we want to see, and sometimes we need to see that. So continue doing that. Don't get discouraged, man. You got family here now. We hope to do some projects together. We're doing our fall league next month, mid-November to about maybe early January. If you're around, anybody around, please pull up. We'll give you more information. Love you to be part of that. Maybe be part of our media team. Talk about that.
talk
And then
about
we have
that.
our winter league in February into May, and then we're going to get right back into summertime. So continue striving, bro. I'm really honored to have you here.
appreciate that.
We don't bring many people up here, in terms of this kind of like outing, but truly special to spend this time with you today. Thank you for having us here.
Appreciate it. And guys, Hoops in the Sun, Joey and Randy Cruz, man. You heard it here first. Now, if you haven't been here before, get here. You're kind of late. I'm already late. So, SwayReportingLive, one-on-one sit down, Hoops in the Sun. Once again, thank you once again.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
it.
I appreciate it. Love.
Yo, AD, we gon' fuck this shit up.